Hello, mate. That's it, come on around, please, keep coming around. That's it, keep coming around. Okay, this area up here, this is called Tower Green. This is the village green to the Tower of London. But unlike most village greens, that's got a nice cricket field or a cute little duck pond. We've got something rather unique in our village green. Our very own execution site. That paved area there behind me, the glass memorial. 6 people were executed up and around here in Tower Green, 3 of which were Queens of England. But before I tell you about them, what I'm going to do is I'll explain the buildings that surround Tower Green. So after the tour, you can go on your merry way, visit these places. It gives you a good understanding why they were there, what they were used for, who was in it, so on and so forth. So behind you and to your left, at the end of this cobbled path, that will take you to the entrance of the bloody tower. That square tower that's over there in the corner. Once you enter in, you'll see the ship's windlass mechanism above the portcullis or Norman drop gate. The lower floor, that's got an exhibition to Sir Walter Raleigh. The upper floor of the bloody tower, that's got an exhibition to the 2 boy princes. Moving further right, over here in the corner, we've got this large, black and white, perfectly preserved Tudor building. Now that's the front of the Queen's house. As I've already said, this is no longer a royal residence, but it is a royal palace. Being a royal palace, it gets a royal guard. There's 1 soldier over there, he's guarding and protecting Her Majesty the Queen's house. There's a further 2 soldiers over there behind you. Now these are actual soldiers in Her Majesty's British Army, and it's the Gurkha regiment that's looking after the Tower of London and all Her Majesty's royal palaces and fortresses throughout the land. The Queen's house, that's the largest Tudor property to survive the Great Fire of London. It's now the private residence of the Constable of the Tower. He's the ex-general, the Lord Horton, his wife Lady Horton and his family. He's the Queen's representative here at the Tower of London in the absence of the Queen. The Queen's house, that was pretty much used as a prison back in the day. Queen Catherine Howard, she was held in there the days before her execution. William Penn, for his offensive writings against the King. He was released on the understanding that he left the country, so he made his way across the Atlantic and he founded Pennsylvania. Guy Fawkes, who I mentioned earlier, amongst many, many more. But most recently, Rudolf Hess, the deputy leader to Nazi Germany. He was held in the Queen's house for 3 days in 1941. But during the blitzing on London, especially East London and the Docklands in particular, he was shifted out to the countryside for his own safety. The tower, it was hit during the Second World War. It was never a direct target. It was always by stray bombers. One evening, for instance, a German bomber come across, he missed his target. He came around to regain his track. By now, he was even further off target. He jettisoned 3 bombs. The first one landed in the moat by the West Gate, where you all entered into the tower today. The second one landed over there on the Great Hall. That's where Queen Anne Boleyn had her wedding reception, and that's where Queen Anne Boleyn was held the night before her execution. The far side of the White Tower, when you go round that side, look at the hospital block. The bricks on the left are much newer than the bricks on the right. That's where the 3rd bomb landed, and it was rebuilt after the Second World War. The buildings either side of the Queen's house, they now serve as accommodation for some of my yeoman warder colleagues and their families. I used to live over there in that middle flat with the white curtains above the 2 blue doors. I've got a much bigger place over the other side. Can you see the 3 blue doors down there? See the one on the right hand side with the white architrave around it? That's 7 Lower Tower Green. If you Google 7 Lower Tower Green, Tower of London, that comes up as reportedly the most haunted place in London. This big large building here, that's the Beauchamp Tower. Once you enter into the bottom of that, you'll see an exhibition to the majority of prisoners you have here at the tower. There's a spiral staircase inside there, which will take you up to the state prison room, which is behind that large glass arch window. Inside there, you'll see some graffiti or carvings in the wall. Some date back nearly 500 years. The first blue door directly behind me there, that's the private residence of the tower's doctor. Immediately next door to him is the tower chaplain. So if you go to the tower doctor and he can no longer help you, you haven't got to go far to see the next man in line. Next man in line there, the tower chaplain, luckiest man in London. He works 1 day a week on a Sunday, and that's his commute to work right there. Shortest commute in London, that is. This big large building that you see here, that's the Waterloo Block. That was built on the site of the Grand Storehouse that burnt down in a fire in 1841. This building was erected in 1845 and it was a garrison to over 1,000 soldiers that were based here in the tower. This is now the home of the new Jowa house. I'm going to say that one more time just to make sure that you lot heard me. This is now the home of the new Jowa house. Can you all see that big golden clock? Can you? Yes. Below that big golden clock are two big large doors. Above these two big large doors are two big large words. And they say Crown Jewel. Do you see where I'm going? If I had one penny for every time I was asked for the Crown Jewels were, I'd most probably be the richest man in London today. They're over there! On the far side, that's a museum to the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers. That's an old infantry regiment that was established here in 1685. Turkish